I live in Canada, and I will say the one major difference with Canadian men is they're so passive. I don't know why collectively they're all so afraid of their own shadows. They're afraid to make eye contact. They're afraid to make the first move even. They don't want to ask for your number. They don't want to initiate a date. They're just very passive, typically. Because what I've definitely noticed is going to America and going to Europe, when men want something or when men want to talk to you, they will just go talk to you. They will just go up straight up and be direct. I was just working on set recently, and this guy literally pulled up a chair at my table to talk to me specifically. We're not even working in the same department, but he came up and he was actually really cute. And we were talking for a bit, and he never asked for my Instagram. He never asked for my number. We were just talking quite a bit. And then he said, I'll walk you out when he was leaving, and he never asked for anything. He never took the next step. I feel like men will just go a little bit of the way and then they'll halt and then they'll stop and pull back. Or men will, maybe when they've had some liquid courage, will maybe go and approach you. But I really do appreciate the confidence and boldness of American men and European men. I don't want to have to be the one to initiate the first move. I'd rather have a guy pursue me. I don't want to chase anyone.
As a non-Canadian who's been living in Canada for the past 11 years, do you know what's the most Canadian trait to me? How much you guys love the rules. You guys love a good process. You guys love a good structure in society. There is nothing that's gonna upset more a Canadian than somebody who doesn't respect the rules. I lived 10 years in Quebec, I lived 10 years in Montreal, now I live in Ontario. But I remember, like, if somebody would walk on a bike lane in Montreal, people would shout on them. And mind you, Canadians don't shout much. So if they shouted, you really gotta piss them off. Or one day I remember I was doing a hike during the winter on the Mont Royal, the big mountain in the center of Montreal, and I accidentally walked on the cross-country skiing path. My God, people got so mad at me, and I was like, guys, it's fine, we can, I was not even on the track, I was beside the track. Even the lineup, Canadians are really serious about the lineup. If you do the lineup, you gotta do it properly, you gotta be organized. A lot of immigrants, when they arrive here, they're like, oh my God, people line up, in Montreal at least, people line up to get into the bus too. It's a very well organized and well structured society. And I'll tell you, as a French person, I am so grateful for this. That has made me such a better person. I feel like you guys are way more structured and know how to make a society more functioning.
These are 3 things you'll have to get used to if you're moving to Canada. Number 1, Canadian manners. Saying please, thank you, and even sorry a lot. Pro tip, if you do not hold the door for people, you're going to stand out in a bad way. Number 2, be open-minded. You're going to have to accept different religions, cultures, lifestyles. Do not come here and try and be judgy or confrontational. Number 3, follow rules and laws. If you're coming from a country where it's common to disregard rules and laws, I'm not judging. I grew up in Mexico, but it's not going to work here. Canadians trust that others are following rules and laws, and if you don't, you're going to clash with Canadians. From recycling guidelines to traffic laws, Canadians take these very seriously. You do not have to completely erase your culture. Canadians embrace other backgrounds, but these 3 should help you blend in.
You know you're Canadian when you go out somewhere and it's a never-ending revolving door of people holding doors open for each other, and then people going through, and the next person holding the door open for each other, and then the other person going through, and it's just like, thank you, you're welcome, thank you, no worries, thank you, you're welcome, thank you, no worries. I just had that this morning. There's 2 doors that open, and it's like one person holds it, and then you go inside, and then you hold the door open for that person, and then they go inside. It's just like Canadian things.
Moving to Canada from Eastern Europe and experiencing Canadian work culture was wild for me. I'm gonna tell you why. Number 1, mistakes are fine. They're seen as areas of opportunity. What can we do to improve? What can we do to avoid this next time? It's never, what did you do? Are you stupid? Or you should have known better. So making mistakes in the Canadian workplace is almost encouraged because that shows that you are trying something that you're not fully comfortable with. Number 2, there's no blame culture. Nobody's looking to blame someone else for whatever happened. People either take accountability or they find a really nice way to point into the direction of why that happened, but never pointing fingers at people. Even if it's obvious that there's only one person that did that and that person was wrong, it is considered that that person is part of a bigger team, therefore everybody is responsible. And everything is addressed with we. We need to work on this, we need to look at this, we need to improve this. Number 3, companies working hard on creating a psychologically safe environment for their employees. For example, you should feel fully comfortable to complain about something, to share some opinions about something, to ask questions, to request things. And the crazy thing is that you can go directly to a regional manager and talk to them and they will listen to you. It's not like, oh, you can only talk to the person immediately above you. Like the big guys shouldn't hear about this, you know? And in addition to that, the HR department, the human resources department is very, very strong. There's always people you can talk to. There's always people who will listen to you. A lot of these things don't exist in Eastern Europe. Maybe they are starting to exist now, but if you're from there, you know what I mean.
Hello everyone, my name is Rose, and have you ever wondered why some foreigners visit Canada and come back saying, wait, Canadians actually behave like this? For many visitors, the biggest surprise isn't the breathtaking scenery or the freezing weather, it's the everyday behavior. A Canadian can accidentally bump into you and somehow you are both saying sorry. Someone may hold the door open for a complete stranger. Thank the bus driver, patiently wait their turn and avoid turning a small disagreement into a huge argument. These seemingly ordinary habits can feel surprisingly unusual to people coming from cultures where communication is much more direct. And then there is the famous Canadian politeness. Newcomers frequently describe the Canadians as friendly, respectful, and welcoming. Statistics have also shown that Canada has also found that immigrants tend to have particularly positive perceptions of shared Canadian values such as human rights, respect for the law, gender equality, and cultural diversity. I don't know what you're thinking about this topic today, but let's hear what other people are saying.
Okay, story time. As a Brit, we like to say, you okay? How you doing, mate? You can't do that in Canada. Like, you can't do that. So, got in the back of a taxi, day 1 in Canada. I said to the guy, you alright, mate? The dude turned around. Anyway, of course I'm alright. Why are you asking? Oh my gosh. Fast forward the evening, went to King Street, first time on a night out. I went to one of the burger bars on there, I can't remember which one. And I did the same there. I was at the till and I went, you alright, mate? He goes, of course I'm alright. What's wrong with me? Well, Canadians, help me. What's like a good replacement? Is it like, how you doing? I don't know, you tell me.
One thing that really surprised me when I moved from Montreal to Toronto is how men behave. I spent my entire 20s in Montreal, and something that really surprised me as a non-Canadian is how vulnerable and emotionally open men are in Montreal. And I really thought it was a Canadian thing, you know? And then I moved to Toronto. And then actually I realized that here it's not like that at all. Actually, men are pretty much the cliche of what you would think. And again, I might be biased, might be the area where I live, might be just perception. Not only in the way they look, like here it's all about like going to the gym and like being super broy. The outfit, no matter where a Torontonian man goes, they will be wearing a gym outfit. Even in the things they talk about. Like it happens to me sometimes at the gym, you know? It's always about sports, it's always about protein, it's always about productivity, and I just find it so interesting because Montreal men are like so much more emotionally open. Even in the way they look, you can be way more skinny in Montreal and you'll still be super cool, you know? Even in the things they wear, there is way more playfulness with the concept of masculinity. Here it's like, you gotta be the cliche. You gotta fit these boxes. I don't know if I'm the only one who noticed that.
Canadians are so funny because they will follow every single rule and law with their heart. If you tell them to clean out a container before throwing it out, they will. But do not tell them a speed limit because that's the one thing, that's where they draw the line. They must drive 20 kilometers over the speed limit at all times.
As a French person who's been living in Canada for 11 years, one thing that I see a lot of my French friends like misunderstanding about Canadians is that being warm does not equal wanting to be your friend. And a lot of French people call Canadians hypocrite because they feel like they're getting scammed by how warm Canadians are being. Because for them, connecting on an emotional level with you, like laughing, having a good time, whatever it is a promise of a potential friendship. I find Canadians to be way more rational in their way of connecting to people. It's like, does this person reflect my value, or do they do something that is interesting, that I can find inspiring? Also, it's very often a lot of the Canadians friends I made were, you know, based on the context. Somebody was living in the same building as me, or somebody I was working with. It's very contextual, very rational, when I find French people to be way more chemistry based in the way of building relationship. Do we have an emotional connection? Do I feel attached to you? Do I feel inclined to you? It's almost a bit more romantic the way French people attach it. Like, they meet somebody and they're like, do I feel something when I talk to them? Which is why it is confusing for French people when there is a semblance of emotional connection, because to them it's a sign, it's a promise, it's commitment.
It's kind of part of Canadian culture to say thank you when getting off the bus. But are we still saying thank you even if the bus driver refuses to return your little polite smile or the little hi when getting on the bus? If the bus driver like totally ignores you and treats you like you're interrupting their day basically by joining the bus, are we still saying thank you when getting off?
Some cultural shocks when I got in Canada. Number one, drivers do not honk. Beep, 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 beep. Hey, sorry if you are there now, jump. I have never heard anything like that here. Not even just a simple honk. If you accidentally honk, walk away, I'm sure. That's one culture shock. Number two, keep your assertions to yourself when it comes to LGBTQ and the likes. I know in Ghana, it is very much well unspoken of. But here in Canada, it is legally accepted and people practice it. It is the way of life of people. And so if you believe that you are not for them, or you don't believe in those kind of things, keep your opinion to yourself. Don't discuss it with any person. You might be in problem, you might be in trouble for just making a comment or passing your own comment about it.
I am Dominican from the Dominican Republic, but I travel a lot to many different countries. And so these are a few things that I can tell you for sure and with a lot of certainty. There are 5 things that Canadians don't get enough hype, recognition for. Let me tell you. The first one being their kindness. A lot of people tell you, and a lot of Americans, especially like North Americans, tell you how yeah, Canadians are very nice and stuff like that. But you don't really understand until like to what stand they are nice and how nice they are until you actually visit Canada, and that you can experience that like with your own eyes and being physically there and being able to see them being nice just because. Number 2, the welcomeness. They are very welcoming. These people are it's insane how they will treat you just like one of their own for no reason. Meaning no judgment, no discrimination, no awkward looks, no staring at you for just because you're different. They will literally just assume that you are one of them, and they will treat you like one of their own, like you're a Canadian, and that's just so freaking cool. That's so awesome. Number 3, they are good faith oriented. Canadians tend to be very trusting and operate in good faith when they're doing business. And in Canada, people trust just by default. They're not expecting to get scammed. They are not really, like, you can see that, like the way they do businesses. I was just talking about like a comment from one of my followers, how they don't even charge you. Like they have like an honor code that you grab your stuff and they just trust that you're going to pay, that you're not going to run away. That doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. I'm telling you that. Number 4, they're very respectful. You would hardly see a Canadian getting in your business or trying to be noisy or trying to investigate about you and stuff like that. They mind their own businesses. They have developed the ability to be warm, attentive, without being intense or overbearing or like nosy. Okay, they're not nosy. And you can see this in restaurants and stores when they offer you help. They'll be like, hey, if anything, I'm here. They can take as long as you want to come and take your order. They can never come back if you don't ask them to. Number 5, they are very community oriented. They value collective well-being a lot. Like a lot. You can see that in the way they follow rules and they do the right things even when nobody is looking, just because that's how society works. That's how like they do things because they know that is going to benefit the next person, and so the next person does the same thing, and all of a sudden you have a very evolved, great, paradise-like society and country that it's just super cool to live in and even to visit. If you go to Canada, you will see this firsthand and you will not want to go back to wherever you're from.
So this is where it gets interesting. A Canadian might disagree with you without raising their voice. Instead of confrontation, they may choose a softer response, leaving a foreigner wondering, did they actually disagree with me or they were just being polite? That's part of a cultural adjustment many newcomers experience. Canada can feel extremely welcoming while also having a more reserved social style. People may smile, say hello, and help you, but forming close relationships can sometimes take much longer. And perhaps that's why Canada's normal behavior can leave foreigners speechless. What Canadians consider ordinary, being polite, giving people personal space, respecting differences, and keeping the peace, can feel completely different for someone arriving from another part of the world. So while Canada may look like just another country on the map, spend enough time there, then you might start wondering, is this normal Canadian behavior or is Canada operating on a completely different set of rules? What do you think about today's video? Don't forget to share in the comment section, and please subscribe, share, and like the video. And I'll see you on the next one.